Life has a way of delivering unforeseen blows, and for one local family, disaster struck when they least expected it. Their home was consumed by a fire that left nothing behind but ashes and memories. The devastation was total. In mere moments, they had lost not only their house, but also every possession they had worked for. Photo albums, family heirlooms, their children's favorite toys, everything was gone. The weight of the loss was immeasurable, and they were left standing in the cold, clinging to each other, wondering how they would ever rebuild their lives. News of the family's tragedy spread quickly through the community, and while offers of help trickled in, the enormity of what they had lost seemed almost too much for any gesture to remedy. They were temporarily placed in a shelter, staring at an uncertain future, with no clear path forward. Grief mixed with anxiety as they tried to comprehend how life could change so drastically in just a few short hours. But sometimes, when hope seems out of reach, unexpected acts of kindness can turn the tide. Something extraordinary happened, something that no one saw coming. Caitlin Clark, the celebrated basketball star known for her on-court heroics, entered the story. But on this day, it wasn't her basketball prowess that made headlines. Instead, it was a gesture of compassion that would forever change this family's life. Caitlin's act of kindness became a story for the ages, inspiring not only her community, but people across the nation. News channels, newspapers, and online platforms amplified her story, each focusing on the impact her gesture had made. Upon hearing about the family's plight, Caitlin Clark didn't just send well wishes or offer a symbolic gesture. No, she decided to do something far more profound, something that no one expected. Without hesitation, Clark mobilized her resources, working behind the scenes to organize a response that would leave the entire community in awe. Clark appeared at the family's temporary shelter, much to their shock. With a warmth that matched her reputation as a leader both on and off the court, she sat down with the family and listened to their story. The family she helped found themselves overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support. For them, Caitlin had not only restored their physical home, but also given them a renewed sense of hope in humanity. In interviews, they shared how Caitlin's generosity had turned what was a nightmarish experience into a beautiful example of kindness and compassion. They called her their guardian angel, someone who appeared when they needed it most, showing them that even amidst tragedy, light could shine through. The response to Caitlin's selflessness grew beyond what anyone had anticipated. Major sports media outlets and popular TV shows highlighted her story, sharing footage of her surprise and the family's emotional reaction. Fans, athletes, and celebrities took to social media to praise Caitlin, sharing posts that recognized her as a role model for kindness. As they recounted the harrowing details of losing everything, their voices heavy with sorrow, Clark remained calm and empathetic. Then came the moment that would change everything. With a smile, Caitlin handed the family a set of keys, not to a rental, not to a temporary space, but to a brand new, fully furnished home, paid for in full. The disbelief on the family's faces was palpable. Tears of shock turned into tears of joy as they realized what was happening. This wasn't a dream. It was real. Caitlin Clark, in an act of astonishing generosity, had given them a fresh start. The magnitude of the gesture was overwhelming, leaving the family and everyone witnessing the event speechless. Clark, known for her deep three-pointers and ice-cold demeanor in pressure situations, showed that her heart is as big as her basketball talent. She didn't just offer financial support, she gave this family something far more valuable: hope. And in doing so, she proved that true heroes aren't just the ones making headlines for their athletic achievements, but the ones who step up when their community needs them the most. The home was more than just a place to live. It was a message that even in the darkest of times, light can shine through in the form of unexpected kindness. The fully furnished space had everything the family could need to start rebuilding their lives: new furniture, appliances, and even toys for the children. Clark had thought of every detail, ensuring that the family wouldn't have to worry about anything as they began to pick up the pieces. The community was quick to rally behind Clark's selfless act. Social media lit up with posts praising her generosity, and news outlets quickly picked up the story. Within hours, her surprise gift to the family was trending nationwide, with countless people sharing the emotional moment and offering their support. It was clear that Caitlin Clark had done more than just change the course of one family's life. She had ignited a wave of kindness that inspired people far beyond Iowa. As the news spread, others began offering to help as well. Local businesses chipped in to provide additional support, with grocery stores offering free food and schools organizing fundraisers to help cover any future costs for the family. What started as one extraordinary act of kindness quickly snowballed into a community-wide effort to ensure this family wouldn't face the burden of their loss alone. In interviews following the surprise, Clark remained humble. When asked why she did it, her answer was simple: "I saw a family in need, and I knew I had to do something. I've been blessed in so many ways through basketball, and it's important to use that platform to give back. This is what it means to be part of a community." Clark's words resonated deeply. Her actions reminded everyone that success is not only measured in trophies or accolades, but in the impact one can have on others. In that moment, Caitlin Clark became more than just a basketball star. She became a beacon of hope, a real-life hero who used her fame and fortune to bring light to those who needed it most. As the family moved into their new home, the joy in their eyes was indescribable. Their lives, once shattered by an unexpected tragedy, were now filled with hope and optimism. Thanks to Caitlin Clark, they had a second chance. They could now look forward to the future with renewed strength, knowing that they weren't alone. This story will live on as a testament to the power of human compassion, a reminder that even in the toughest of times, acts of kindness can turn the tide. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the lives of one family, she set an example for all of us to follow. And in doing so, she proved that true greatness isn't just about what you achieve on the court, but what you do for others off of it. As Caitlin resumed her training and games, it was clear that she'd made a profound impact. Her gesture wasn't just a momentary act of goodwill, it had sparked a lasting movement in her community, highlighting the profound influence that one person's kindness can have. The family she helped was thriving, adjusting to their new home and a life rebuilt with hope. In interviews, they continued to express how much Caitlin's generosity meant to them, describing her as their guardian angel who had turned their darkest moment into a new beginning. Caitlin's example became a legend on campus and beyond, and her connection to her community only grew stronger. She was no longer just a hero on the court, but a symbol of compassion and resilience. As her story gained momentum, Caitlin became an icon for using one's influence and success for good. Her story resonated particularly deeply among young athletes who saw in Caitlin a hero both on and off the court. Schools around the country featured Caitlin's story in assemblies and classroom discussions, teaching students about the power of giving back and how small acts of kindness can make a significant impact. Teachers used her actions as an example, encouraging students to consider how they could make a difference in their communities. Be Like Caitlin became a mantra, inspiring a wave of school-led charity events, fundraisers, and community service projects across the country. In Iowa, her hometown embraced her legacy in an even deeper way. Local businesses, inspired by her gesture, started community funds for families who found themselves in unexpected hardship. Partnerships with non-profit organizations formed, aiming to provide resources for those in need. Seeing Caitlin's story unfold in real time showed people the importance of extending a helping hand, and it began to shift the local culture toward one of enhanced empathy and mutual support. In honor of her actions, the town organized a yearly event in Caitlin's name, a day dedicated to giving back, where community members come together to volunteer, donate, and offer support to local families. It was a way to cement her legacy, creating a ripple effect that would last for generations. Caitlin's act of kindness became a story for the ages, inspiring not only her community, but people across the nation. News channels, newspapers, and online platforms amplified her story,